Hey everybody, welcome to it's more Umineko. So real quick, I wanted to recap the previous chapter. This chapter is going to be chapter, I believe it's 5, and so recapping chapter 4. Basically what happened was shenanigans. Imagine an action movie starring a future version of NJ. And that's basically it. So she went around and was talking to her relatives. We learned a little bit more about the family that Kyrie comes from. Their family is, at least at this moment, seems to be headed by NJ's aunt, Kyrie's sister, who is evil woman number. What evil woman number are we up to in this? They're all fantastic, so I'm not complaining. But a second evil aunt has hit the stream, has hit the Umineko. So yeah, shenanigans. NJ, in order to evade capture while talking to the current head, or in the future. This is all in the future. This is NJ's future, like sort of future when the events of the island of Rokonjima, where Ava basically killed everybody. And so she has her suspicions. She goes to the current head of the Ushiromiyas, who is this old dude who seems like the kind of dude, like Yakuza, basically. Like, he seems like a character yanked right out of Yakuza. And he's like basically trying to get everybody in his debt. He seems like okay. He seems like he seems to be earnest, but he also doesn't seem entirely on the up and up, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we had some shenanigans with him. He tried to hold NJ back a little bit, but he wasn't going to try and, like, you know, physically manhandle her or anything. So then Kyrie's sister showed up with a bunch of goons to try and capture NJ. NJ escaped them by jumping on top of a car and landing on her back on the car, which fucked up the car. And then she got saved by a hot guy who works for Blackwater, who was hired by the current Urshiromiya head, the dude who the Yakuza-esque dude we were just talking about. So yeah, Tazriel, she jumped from the 3rd floor, which is just, I mean, is what I was saying with the action movie thing. So, all that said, yeah, we kind of ended on the idea that, like, right now, we are getting more of NJ. We're getting more of the surrounding characters. Some characters that I have a sneaking suspicion are going to be on the island. But let's go ahead and continue with, were we down here? I thought we were on the 3rd page. I guess we aren't. Yeah, I guess we're down here. All right. Here we go. Okanogi, yeah. I was able to hear Aunt Ava's say from Okanogi-san. Next up is The Witch's Say. Why don't I listen to Beatrice's say? So yeah, Okanogi was basically like, oh yeah, I should also show you guys when we get a chance who they look like. But yeah, Okanogi's interesting. He's definitely like kind of, I keep wanting to say slimy, but he's not really, he just gives off that vibe. I don't think he's actually like, well, I guess we'll see. But I don't really get the, I think he evokes that sort of ouvroir on purpose. But we'll find out. 3 months left to live. All right. Let's look at the folks that we were just talking about. So yeah, we got some new stuff too. We have NJ, who is the Endless Witch from, 1996? 98? I forget exactly when. 1998. There you go. So yeah, there she is. And then we got a little bit more. We streamed this, right? I'm pretty sure we streamed the Maria stuff with the lion and the stuffed toy she got from her mom. Yes, okay, cool. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so Ava. Also, it's important to note that when we saw NJ dive off the building, she survived. So she hit like a net and then was able to survive that fall. And after, and I believe during that like conversation, it's revealed that Ava is dead. Ava died. So in her continuity, in NJ's continuity, she is dead. And so the power has gone entirely to NJ, or the money, I should say. And so now there are a bunch of factions vying for that power, including Okanogi, a leading member of the Ushiromiya group between the time of Ava's death and NJ succeeding her positions. Management of the group has fallen to core members like him in her stead. However, NJ has no desire to inherit that role, leaving the group on the brink of fracturing internally and putting Okanogi in a difficult position. He was once the president of a foodstuffs distribution company. And had an intimate relationship with Hideyoshi's business. And that made me stop when we were playing the other night. That made me stop because remember what Ava was doing to other companies in NJ's sort of continuity, the continuity of 1998? Is like she was using insider information to basically fuck over other people's companies. And that's exactly what happened with Hideyoshi's company. And it made me think like, oh fuck, did she have something to do with that? So who knows? Right now, your guess is as good as mine, except for the witches in chat who know what's up. Their guess is way more accurate. Because of that long-lasting association, Ava trusted him particularly, and he was appointed to an important post within the group. So yeah, you can see what I was saying. He's got kind of a suave Vegeta vibe about him. And then we've got this guy. It's funny because he is a bad boy who worked for Blackwater. And y'all still thirsting, man. All right. Amakusa Juza, a former guard of Ava's. He's fundamentally a thrill seeker, willing to take on dangerous jobs for very little pay. At one point, he did work as a guard for NJ, but after reportedly violating Ava's strict orders not to speak to her, Ava grew to dislike him and fired him. NJ seemed not to mind having him around, as he would often chat with her. This man, who has traveled between the Japan Self-Defense Force, the Foreign Legion, and non-government military companies, including Blackwater, has skill in counter-sniping and protecting VIPs. So yeah, I think this guy's going to play... I think these characters are going to play a much more important role. And okay, hear me out. Just throwing it out there. I would like to know their whereabouts on the day that Ava was found. I would like to know where they were when the events of Rokkenjima took place. I have a sneaking suspicion. I guess we'll find out. And then the second evil woman that has hit the Umineko, Samadera Kasumi, daughter of the declining noble family of Samadera, Ushiromiya Kirie's younger sister. She despises her sisters, and by extension, NJ as well. She's the opposite of the freewheeling person Kirie once was, and holds appearance in high regard, possessing a strong ambition for philanthropy. However, this is all just a craving for the limelight caused by the complex she has towards her sister. There are several opposing factions in the Sumadera family, and they're constantly engaged in a secret feud over who will control the vast wealth NJ holds. So yeah, got a bunch of stuff going on, and yeah. All right, here we go. 3 months left to live. It was last year when you said that, right, Dr. Nanjo? I only speak of what I could comprehensively determine from his physical condition at that time. As a result, this year too, it just so happens... So even though it's doubtful whether Dad'll last until the end of the year, he's still totally focused on his occult research. I mean, wouldn't you be? It's a big cult. It's fascinating. And you still say he has only 3 months left, Doctor. Like I said, Kinzo-san's... Shouldn't you be happy that respected father is still in high spirits? Out of a sense of parental respect, each one of you is so eager to greet father. I can see how upset you are that he's unwilling to meet with you. Considering that everyone has started aiming for the inheritance while the sun is still in the sky, I can understand why father wouldn't want to see you. Okay. You've got it wrong, Natsuhine-san. We just, Dad isn't immortal, and he'll die someday. Hopefully while we're here. We aren't telling him to die. We're just saying that he will die sooner or later. We're just talking together about how to prepare for that. And that is precisely what is so disrespectful. Stop it. You'll make your headache worse. Bro, I don't know if I said this on stream. I probably did. Natsuhi's headaches. Fucking Jessica's breathing problems. Something weird. Kraus told Natsuhi, who had risen from her chair in agitation, to sit down. Also, Ava's death. What the hell? She died of basically the same shit Kraus did. What the fuck? Anyway. I guess we'll find out what the fuck. She needs more electrolytes. Don't we all? Trying to smooth over the atmosphere, which had suddenly become filled with suspicion, Hideyoshi put on a forced smile and motioned for everyone to calm down. Yeah, well. I guess such is to be expected from someone who hasn't been murdered by his wife yet. Natsuhi-san, don't misunderstand. People say you should always clean up after yourself, right? We're just talking about seeing him off. We're discussing this so we can see father off neatly. When he takes off on the journey he's eventually gonna take. That's just like you, Hideyoshi-san. Even though you're saying the same thing, you make it sound so intellectual. Yeah, that's right. Unlike you, Nissan. Quit it. We aren't getting anywhere. So like we're saying, Aniki, forget all this about the inheritance. I don't even care if Dad hits us. To make a long story short, we want to meet Dad directly and say hello. Even if he says he doesn't want to. If he's locked up in his study, we don't care if we have to borrow a key from Genji-san. See, that's another aspect of this that just like... What? Like, they're so guarded about him. It really makes me, like, question... Anyway. Makes me question stuff. Right, Rosa? Oh, well, it's not like we're forcing you. It's just... We haven't said hello to father in such a long time. Also, I was thinking about this earlier. We got a lot from Rosa. We got a lot of, like, information and backstory when she revealed Kuwadori and Beatrice's death. Like, and we just kind of skipped past it. Like, what? Makes me question, oh no, I'm just like kind of being esoteric. I'm kind of just like riffing because I don't want to spend too much time on any individual thought because I know that we need to like get through this. But I don't know. There's a lot of questions in my mind. It makes me question like, what is happening, what's going on, and how long it's been going on for. That's the main thing. We've been talking a little bit about like a pet theory of ours, which is something's going on with the tea. That's kind of my thing. Other people in the chat will say like you know, I know that Spider-Man, for instance, is particularly fond of the gas leak theory. I think that there's something going on with, like, okay, when Ava went into the hidden room to find the gold, she almost instantly started showing, like, how do I say this? Like, sort of manic tendencies, or her personalities became more distinct. They started separating more. So something happened, and that made me think, like, well, maybe there's something about, like, maybe there is a gas leak. Maybe there is, like, some poison going on around here. Something. She acted unlike her we know for sure. Yeah, and she had been acting like that for a bit. But one of the things that was prominent is that she was suffering headaches too. And so, like, at the very beginning, if you remember when they arrived on the boat, she was, like, dreaming, and then she had a headache. And then she was like, that was around the time, well, she saw herself, like, her younger self in her, like, talking a little bit more. But that's what I'm saying is, like, it seems to me that something is going on with certain characters who are having, like, physical ailments. And those, I'm thinking, are the Kinzo being one of them as well. And I'm trying to figure out if, like, are they being poisoned? Because remember what Ava said early on about how, oh yeah, do you know why, you know, you use a silver spoon? Because it shows if your tea has been poisoned. And it's like, why the fuck would you? And also, that's the thing I didn't mention. This fucking guy kept saying, oh no, this lady kept saying shit about her tea room. Like, and as though it was a threat. It's like, oh, I'm going to take you to the tea room and we're going to have some tea. Would you like some tea? And it was, everybody understood that as a threat. And so it's like, huh, interesting. Anyway. Oh, well, it's not like we're forcing you. It's just we haven't said hello to Father in such a long time. Some Black Femme, I feel like Kinzo's not around, but Jessica's seen him, and she wouldn't lie about that. Oh, I mean, she may have her reasons. That's one of the cool things about this story, is that I can see everybody in it doing things that would be outside of their character for reasons that would be justifiable to them. And that makes for a really interesting story, because there's so much going on. There's so many different, like, puzzle pieces that are interacting with each other. There's so many dominoes that are, like, happening. And I feel like the way that I've been thinking that I haven't been able to put into words, the way that every start of this game goes, like every episode start, it's like another, it's like we're resetting the Rube Goldberg machine. And then it's just every time we hit it, maybe a Rube Goldberg machine is the wrong way to say it, but, like, because the result is always dynamic. It's not set in stone, but there are a bunch of machinations that are at play. I guess it's maybe like the beginning of each episode is like a different Rube Goldberg machine where all of them are set up, but the marble is hitting like the actions are being set into motion at different intervals, at different times, and different, like, setups are happening. And each episode is like a different Rube Goldberg machine going off, if that makes any fucking sense. I'm probably just sounding crazy. I like the way you explained your line of thinking. I appreciate it. No problem. Yeah. Make sure, if you want me to extrapolate something or, like, focus in on something, just at me in the chat. I'll get a notification, and then I can just kind of, like, yeah, go for it. Because I'm also, I know that these take a little while to get through, and I know it's annoying when I'm constantly being, like, derailed and stuff. So I'm going to try and focus, but, you know, I also have probably ADHD, so so I'll try to rein it in as much as I can. In his remaining life, if his remaining life really is short, then there's a chance we might never be able to see him again. Today might be our final opportunity to exchange words with Father, which is one of the things that makes it extremely suspicious why he doesn't come out. He's not even coming out of the study. Anyway, that's right, just like Rosa says. Which makes me think, like, is there a world where Natsuhi or Kraus, like, played into Kinzo's like paranoia and made it so that he wouldn't even want to come out. I don't know. Anyway, that's right, just like Rosa says. If he only has 3 months left, it wouldn't be odd for him to pass away any time now, right? Are you saying that despite that, we don't even have the right to talk with him one last time? Regardless of the circumstances, isn't that just a bit too much? If greeting father were truly what you wish to do, I'm sure he'd happily allow you to meet with him. But father has already heard about the disrespectful topic you hope to raise. Oh? And who told him that? No one would want to meet with you under those conditions. Also, I'm going to say it again because it bears repeating. Why was your hair red at one point in time? Why? It was brown, you dyed it red, and that was a while ago. Fell in teeth, and that's all right, I'll accept it. No one would want to meet you under those conditions. The reason you cannot meet with father is because of your own doing and nothing else, is it not? Oh, also, in terms of character tier list, Natsuhi's still way up there. I think NJ is probably real, like, NJ skyrocketed up the list, so. But yeah, and Maria is obviously at the tippy top, but you know. Oh, I also, when we do the character rankings, I need to add her stuffed toy. Exactly. This guy gives major, Kraus gives major, what's his name? Oh, Homelander vibes. You shouldn't have to rack your brains to understand why father doesn't wish to see your faces, right? Father has seen through all of your tight financial situations, including yours, bud. What are you talking about? I don't have a clue what you're going on about, Nissan. Did you really think I didn't know about the state you're in? Ava and the rest realized that he had seen through their current lack of funds, and alternating between bluffing and returning to the point at hand and arguing back, they repeatedly pressed Kraus to let him meet with Kinzo. The sweet smell of the black tea Rosa had gone out of her way to buy had been completely wasted. Okay, I think that's a big note. Do they normally not drink the tea? Because I'm pretty sure in the last one they drank the tea. But now they're not drinking the tea, and they made a specific point to say that. The only thing she was glad about now was that the children weren't here for this. The fact that they'd gone out to play at the beach right after lunch had been their only salvation. Yeah, this year they keep their sanity for real. Ava made as though to tackle Kraus, and Hideyoshi and Kyrie cut in between them, trying to calm both sides. Let her kick his ass, I don't know. Then Kyrie took a deep breath and spoke. I'm sorry, Kraus-Nissan. I know I'm an outsider, but I wonder if you'd let me say one thing. I have a proposition. What is it, Kyrie-san? First, and this includes my husband as well, for many years we have belittled the efforts you've made by living with father and taking care of him. Isn't that right? That's, well, we've got it easy since we get to go outside, but Aniki's been babysitting Dad for decades now, and that must have been a lot of work. I'll accept that. But what's your point, Kyrie? We must acknowledge that Kraus-Nissan is father's caretaker. The fact they haven't yet is kind of telling. Isn't that right? Nandesho? We've always feared father and have pushed the task of caring for him onto Kraus-Nissan. Everyone should acknowledge his efforts. Isn't that right? Eva-ne-san. Oh no, what's she gonna do? Flying kick. And so what? Nissan is father's caretaker. Don't decide things on your own, outsider. Ma'am. Hey, calm down. Kirie-san, what are you talking about? Kirie, please continue. I love cutting back to Kirie and she's just like, hey guys, what's going on? We should be grateful towards Kraus-ni-san and Natsuhine-san. We should thank them for always taking care of father. It's our lack of gratitude that's to blame for these wasteful conflicts we keep having. Isn't that right, Kraus-ni-san? Isn't that right? Did I say that right? I don't think I said that right. I'm surprised. I did not think you, Kirie-san, would be able to understand our efforts, which even my true siblings have not stopped to consider. It's a natural duty for the successor to the Ushiromiya family headship. That's right. It's your responsibility as the successor to the headship, isn't it? It's because you take care of father that we must acknowledge you as the successor. Oh. Hey! Why are you bringing this up all by yourself? You're just an outsider. Wait, Aniki. That's right. It's just like Kirie says. Because you take care of dad, you're the successor, Aniki. It's just like you said. Oh. Rosa noticed, and then Ava did. Ava's barking demeanor towards Kirie for advancing the discussion on her own disappeared in a flash, and she instead stared at Kraus and Natsuhi. Natsuhi couldn't understand that sudden change and was slightly flustered. Kraus-ni-san, if you'll accept just a few conditions, we won't ask you to let us meet father again until he dies. Of course, we don't demand to be present at his deathbed. We wouldn't even mind being absent at the funeral. Oh? Oh? Where are you going with this? But I may as well listen for now. Let's hear your terms. First, the term successor to the headship refers to the caretaker of the current head, Ushiromiya Kinzo. And then, second, the duty of the caretaker is to look after Ushiromiya Kinzo for the rest of his life. To make things simple, the caretaker's job is to care for him until his final moments. You were prepared to do that from the beginning, Kraus-ni-san, so that won't cause any problems. Naturally. I have no objections to either of those terms. I am already carrying them out. Third, on the off chance that the caretaker is neglectful in his responsibilities of supervision, he shall be deprived of his rights as a caretaker. What would constitute being neglectful of those responsibilities? With that sentence, all slack disappeared from Kraus's face. Natsuhi alone was still having trouble figuring out what it meant. Oh. And just what are these responsibilities of supervision that the caretaker bears? It means supervision so that father can live the rest of his life in the best possible health. I'll be more detailed than that. In the case that father dies, anything other than a natural death, the caretaker will be deprived of his rights as caretaker, and his status as the successor to the headship will be lost. Fuck me. Fucking knew that was where this was going. Fuck. So you see what I mean about like a fucking Rube Goldberg machine? It's like with this one, now we're getting a bunch of fucking like stipulations about what it means to be the like caretaker. And because of that, if someone causes Kinzo's like untimely demise, then suddenly Kraus is deprived of his successor to the headship, and then he gets deprived money? Potentially, they're going to talk about it, but like, you can see how that all of a sudden opens up the floodgates for like fucking with Kinzo, who I will remind you is still completely fucked up on absinthe upstairs. So like, if that happens, the next highest in rank, Ava Nason, sorry, I keep fucking that up. Ava Nason will be selected as the successor. Natsui punched me in the face. What did you say? How can you shamelessly speak such nonsense? I'm just gonna put this out there. If there is like a fan project to like do a voice of like an English like voice translation like of Umineko, can I just throw in my hat for Kraus? He seems like such a fucking fun dude to like to speak for. My. Korewa. The caretaker certainly has a heavy responsibility. However, people can die in many ways. It's true. They often say that people are dead when they are killed. For example, senile old people sometimes die when food gets caught in their throats. Hint. Cuter faction. Kraus, yeah. Kraus has a kind of Jabba the Hutt vibe to him. Although, okay, even though I say that, I'm maintaining, I don't think Kraus is as evil as we think he is. I think that he's being set up as this like bad dude, but let's be real. If he really wanted the fucking money, he could just kill his dad. He could just accidentally, like, you know, leave his dad in a fucking burning room, or like give him too much fucking absinthe. Which, let's be real, I think Kinzo's already been having too much absinthe. But like, I'm just throwing it out there. I don't think Kraus is as bad as maybe we think he is. Normally, this is called death by old age in the broadest sense. But with your argument... here, let me try and do Kraus. But with your argument, that becomes a death by accident, and I bear the responsibility of supervision. This is unjustly disadvantageous to me. I think that's a little bit too light, but I kind of want to get a little bit more gravelly with it. I have no intention of forcing such an unfair argument on you. I'm referring to the kind of thing that the caretaker could have prevented beforehand by taking good care of and keeping his eyes on father, which is an impossible task, so that's what's being set up. It may be the caretaker's job to carry food to the father's mouth, but whether he swallows it or not is clearly outside the caretaker's responsibility. More alcohol than blood. Yeah, he's doing the Waterworld thing, but he's drinking his piss, but instead it's to be constantly drunk because his fucking all of the liquid in his body is just absent now. I would have absolutely no problems with the example you raised, Kraus Nissan. Some black fan. That's why I don't think he's dead. He's just somewhere else. Maybe the other man. Oh, Kuadorian? Yeah, maybe. Oh. Oh. So, what kind of case are you referring to that might cause the caretaker to be blamed for making a blunder? For example, if he disappeared. It seems that right now, father is in firm control of himself. Yeah, sure, dude. Sure, yeah. Here. There you go. Sure, dude. But dementia might begin to set in. Oh. He might wander around when you aren't looking and get into some kind of accident. Or he might get lost in the forest and go missing. Wouldn't this type of case clearly be the responsibility of the caretaker? Father's mind is perfectly healthy. There is no need to bring up the dementia. One day, suddenly, I saw father go into the forest. I chased after him, but I couldn't find him. I called the police and searched, but after being unable to find him after 7 whole years, I had him declared legally dead. My point is that we won't accept it if you use a story like that to treat him as dead. When father passes away, an autopsy will certainly be carried out. And we will confirm that he died of old age in the most general meaning within the bounds of common sense. A death of any other cause will be held as the caretaker's responsibility. See? These are all things you have toiled away at all this time, Krasny-san. These aren't strange conditions or anything of the sort, right? You're mocking us. Disgracefully so. I find it hard to imagine why my husband must be coerced into a rule that disgraces him in this way. Fuck you. Actually, I've been suspecting it since last year. No, everyone here probably suspects it as well. Eva-san and Hideyoshi-san. Rudolph-san and Rosa-san too. Everyone has suspected it the whole time, but it was so frightening to imagine that no one actually said it. You got me. I'm a fucker. I see. So this is what you're trying to say. That father is already dead, and that I have been hiding it. Damn, that's true. Oh, that's right. That's one of the theories I thought of as a key to solve that last mystery in the previous game. You mean the very last bit? The mystery of who killed Dr. Nanjo? That's right. The witch definitely said a lot in red. She mentioned the names of all 18 people and announced whether they were alive or dead, and then she claimed that there were no humans beside them. But with this theory, I can weave my way through that gap. I see. So this is one of the answers that doesn't cause those two to contradict. Makes sense. See what I'm saying? You catch on pretty quick. It's nice that I don't have to explain. No 19th person exists on this island, and yet this trick let us mix in an unknown new character. In other words, the names of all 18 people don't necessarily correspond to the 18 people on the island. That's it. The witch mentioned the names of 18 people one after another and announced whether they were alive or dead. And on top of that, she announced that there were no humans other than the 18. There was a single illusion in there. It wasn't guaranteed that the 18 names of people equal the 18 people on the island. When she named off all 18 people and announced who was alive and who was dead, she hid the name of Culprit X and instead mixed in someone who wasn't on this island. By doing that, even though the culprit was on the island, she was able to leave him out of the list of living or dead people. The person who was mixed in wasn't actually on the island, so he didn't count towards the total number of people on the island. By this, even though the culprit counted towards the total of 18 people on the island, it was possible for his name to not be listed. The two statements in red are completely independent, so this theory creates no contradictions. If someone's name was used to hide the existence of the culprit, that name must satisfy several conditions. First of all, even though this person isn't on the island, they've got to be someone we think is on the island. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been able to trick us. And it's best if this person happens to be dead. No alibi is more perfect than death. After all, at that point, the mystery was based on the fact that the crime was impossible for all 18 people. Is it something like that? Yeah, that's it. And cue the part where NJ or Beatrice, or maybe both of them, call him stupid. And that person was Kinzo. Grandfather. Right now, there's only one thing Kyrie can be about to say. We thought Grandfather was locked up in his study, saying that he didn't want to meet anyone. But there's a possibility that he's actually dead already. And that Uncle Kraus is lying when he claims that Grandfather's alive. That's right. Grandfather was closed up in his room the whole time, and no one saw his face. Maybe he was already dead, and Uncle Kraus and the others were conspiring together, trying to trick everyone. If Kinzo dies, the distribution of the inheritance occurs. However, if Kinzo doesn't die, no, if he dies, but it isn't announced, the distribution of the inheritance won't take place. In other words, Uncle Kraus could have all of Grandfather's wealth to himself. That's right. He's got more than enough motive. Oh, now we're talking about motive? Bruh. Bruh. Wish I could do that without cracking my voice. Like 40 and... Anyway. Wow. Twergo, I love that. Wow. W-U-O-A-W. Wow. Wow. Maybe a 19th person X really doesn't exist on the island. Mr. X is on the island? But he was dead. But a person X existed. He was in Resident Evil 2 Remake and the original. And that person was the 18th person. In other words, there were originally 17 people on the island, not 18. Then an unknown person X snuck in and committed the crime. See, now I've just got the mental image of Mr. X fucking beating down everybody and throwing them through walls and shit. Meanwhile, Kinzo is just like dead in the corner, his corpse rotting in the fucking in the stew of fucking absinthe and body odor. How's that, Beato? Come out! I've just solved the final biggest mystery from last time. And she like appears right behind him and whispers in his ear. She just goes like, Baka. Oh, yep. As Battler claimed that forcefully, the crisp sound of clapping came out of nowhere, and their surroundings turned bright. And let me tell you, it was not the sound of butt cheeks, becoming the usual witch's tea room. See, tea. It's everywhere. Bravo, bravo. I wish I could deny that someone as incompetent as you has finally gotten a feel for it, but somehow or another, you've managed to come up with a single answer. Even a lump of concrete can stop thinking. So, you have now finally evolved into a being with intelligence. And all it took was a woman. You might say you've finally taken a step forward from the crying creature you were before, just licking my shoes and grinding your teeth. Oh, but also, you are an idiot and you're wrong. Cackle, cackle. She's thirsty. I can't believe that stupid wordplay threw me for so many loops last time. My lameness pisses even me off. All right, Beato, repeat it. If you can announce that the 18 people on the island included Grandfather, just try and do it. Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you can't. Because he was already dead. He seems like that kind of person. This is the end of your deception! Say it in red. Do it. Say it in red. She's gonna do it. Well now, what have we here? Shall I slice that in two with the red truth? No, it might also be good to hold back for now and let you get all excited. See, if I knew he was wrong, I would just play into it. Like, you can't even you can mess with her and get her to try and say red truths, but like, you can't rely on her for confirmations or anything. She's just gonna fuck with you. Like, literally. Anyway, also, his hand is huge. I'm surprised he doesn't just like grab her head and just... She's gonna do it, and that's exactly why she didn't. Yep. If I'm going to push you off a cliff anyway, it would be more interesting to lure you to a higher place first. As Beato sneered obnoxiously, she looked like she was searching for an expression that would tick me off even more. As though she was saying that the answer I'd reached was impossibly ridiculous. Compared to me, annoyed as I was with the witch's attitude, Gretel had a blank and composed expression on her face. Almost as though she'd expected the witch to act that way. I mean, no doy. See, literally, like, what does it say about Battler that, like, throw NJ in the mix and suddenly, like, this would be a completely different game if it was the NJ from the beginning. Like, take it from like fucking 8 chapters, 8 episodes to like 2. Naruhodo. I see. Just like how Battler has learned and grown, so has the witch. A better game? Broken B, don't say that. Oh no, Battler's okay. He's okay. He's fine. So he's, you know, not the worst. I mean, he is, but anyway. What's wrong, Beto? Don't act so tough. Battler is no Anjay. I mean, yes. Red isn't blue. 1 + 1 is is not 18. Don't act so tough. I asked you if you can repeat it. Answer. Cue the Bugs Bunny meme. No. Stop it, Battler. The witch won't answer so easily. She won't do it until she thinks it'll benefit her. Dumbass. What? What? What do you mean? You've been toyed with by this red truth in the games up until now, so the witch has used it many times. Are you going to say toss it? But now the situation is different. You're trying to draw the red truth out of her and are instead using it as your weapon. In this situation, there's no way the witch will keep firing off the red without reason. Right? Gretel, or whoever you are. It seems your mind is quite sharp, unlike Battler's. Battler's like, oh man, what a fearsome enemy I've welcomed in. That is correct. When Battler hopes I'll use the red truth, do I have any responsibility to do so? No. I don't even have a crumb from the croissant you ate this morning's worth of responsibility to please you. You. You bastard. Yes, that's the face. I started playing with the red truth just because I wanted to see that face. I have no reason to play around if it won't give me a chance to see you look like that. Man, Beatrice is fucking... Beatrice, I forgot that this is the lady who was like, you need to kiss my feet now. You need to get on your fucking... You need to get on all fours. You need to strip off all your clothes and you need to kiss my feet. I forgot that that's this lady. That's this lady. That's her. That's her nature. That's who she is. She freaky. Freakatress. Oh, fuck. Man. That's why I'm like, okay, you remember in the previous chapter when they were like, in order to see Maria, like NJ in the future was like, in order to see Maria, you have to have love. And once you have love, you can see her. I'm thinking that's like an interesting way of viewing this, where if you have love for certain characters, you can see things from their perspective, or you can see events differently. And that's really useful and cool. And Silent Hill 2 is very like, yeah, that's kind of the vibe I got from Silent Hill 2. But I'm not worried. I'm interested if the flip side is also true. Like, I wonder if that's what Beatrice is like here for, to emphasize the idea of what if you have hate though? Like, you can have love and see these things, but if you have hate, do you... Because I can then understand this things from Beatrice's perspective. A girl who was locked away in Kuwadorian, and who knows what happened to her. Who knows? I do not know. But she was locked away and wasn't able to really grow up. She wasn't even really able to see the outside world. And I can imagine a person from her perspective, like holding on to hate and that hate, the hate for Kinzo, or like maybe not so much hate, but like maybe even just a hate for life in general. And maybe that's kind of what's locked like Rokenjima in time, like this, and won't let go of it, you know? This like feeling of massive injustice, you know? And if that's the case, that's a really interesting wrinkle in it, because I love the contrast of like, you have love and you see these perspectives, but if you have hate, you'll hold on to them you'll lock things in time and hold on to it forever, you know? Anyway, I was just thinking about that earlier. I have no idea if am I spitting, chat? I have no clue. Anyway, that face, to see you look like that. Yes. You just don't like losing, right? Just saying whatever you can to trick me because you can't answer my demand won't work. Don't be so full of yourself. An answer like that could be cut to pieces without any effort. Is he goading her? But I won't go out of my way to speak in the red. I won't say it because that's what you're asking me to do. Do you know why? You just said it. You want to push him off push him off at the sweetest spot. This ill-natured witch is saying she won't use the red anymore because that's what you want. In other words, she won't go along with this game of telling her to repeat things anymore. Exactly. Unlike Battler, everything goes quickly with this girl, with no need for explanations. Why wasn't she the protagonist from the get-go? God damn it. I will say that what I please with the red truth at the time that I desire. This makes me think of like, what if you took like a standard story or like a story and just threw in an idiot as the protagonist, and so nothing makes sense, and then you throw in someone with a modicum of sense near the end, and suddenly it's like, oh, this totally makes sense. Why was this confusing at all in the first place? It's like the what is it called, unreliable narrator, but it's just like dipshit narrator, like idiot narrator, the Battler narrator. And I will say what I please with the red truth at the time that I desire. That's it. Basically, it's the witch's right to use the red truth as she pleases. She doesn't have to use it at whatever time the human side desires. But even that depends on the situation. The situation? You mean that guy from that TV show from a while ago? I think it was what do they call that? What do they call that? Live or what live action drama, or I forget what they call that. I forget the name for that whole genre. Whatever. Anyway, what do you mean? The witch has no responsibility to respond when you tell her to repeat something. How many times does NJ have to say that? Jesus fucking Christ. But it does become her responsibility if and only if your claim can destroy the witch theory. After all, in this trial court without a judge, that which is not refuted becomes the truth. Reality TV, thank you. I don't know why I forgot the word for reality TV. I guess because it doesn't really like... I can't think of a single reality, like Survivor, and that's it. Like and even that is pretty antiquated these days. Anyway, just like how the witch theory made by the witch will instantly become truth if you collapse and stop thinking, then since she doesn't have a counter argument for my guess, that means it's right. It's right that the culprit is the mysterious 18th person X and grandfather is already dead. Not necessarily asshole. At least until the witch argues back. Exactly. She's going to wait. She's going to bait you. She's going to let you. That's what she meant by getting the highest peak. It's because she's going to let you go out on that limb further and further until your entire idea for what happened hinges entirely on that being the case. And then she's going to say, no, red truth, cut your feet out from under you, and then watch you fucking spiral again, dude. My God. Truth always loses to new truths farther in the future. The tricky part is that even the timing of the counter-argument is up to the witch. In other words, maybe your reasoning just now was correct, or maybe the witch is refraining from arguing back even though you're wrong. I want a supercut of every time someone in this game says, in other words. Or the witch may be ignoring it because it doesn't shake the basis of the witch theory in the first place. But either way, we can't tell the difference at the current time. Is that more or less it? Damn you, Lady Berncastel, for throwing in such a troublesome piece. Thanks to that, I'm losing all my lines. The witch has learned that she can respond to your demands to repeat phrases at a later time. Maybe you could even call it a delayed move. She's messing with me. Battler. Bruh. I can't with this kid. Alright, I'm officially banning any mentions of Bobbler. Like, instant timeout. No. I am not like him. I am different. I am different. So even if I announce some mistaken reasoning, there's a possibility that Beato will intentionally let me flounder about without denying that guess. And at the very end, when I propose an even more massive line of reasoning, she can cut it off at the base. Hey, it's almost like what I said. Don't say it. And spin everything around. A single piece of reasoning becomes a bridge to the next piece. By demanding that she repeat lines, I've been able to strengthen my position and advance bit by bit. But since that bastard Beato learned this strange delay tactic, I can no longer confirm or deny my reasoning. This is like finally finding a staff that'll let me search around in the darkness, only to lose it right away. I'm just stuck now, right? Hey, Battler, if you make a despairing face like that, I won't be able to stop drooling, you see. This lady, man. Beato. Ma'am. Madam. Oh, my God. Yeah, I'm just a girl, and I'm only a girl. What was it? He was a battler boy. She was a witch girl. It said, whatever. Give up on that real quick. From the beginning, that staff was nothing more than something I gave you because you were so worthless. All this means is that you can finally challenge me without a handicap, right? I'm really excited for when we get more about Beatrice. I'm really excited to know her deal and know what's going on, because I want to appreciate her more than I appreciate her now, and I feel like knowing more will just make it like be S tier, S plus tier, S plus plus, you know? Like she's so fucking cool. She wants people to lick her toes and shit. She's fucking around with this extremely stupid boy for like a millennia. The endless witch, endlessly tormenting this fucking bozo idiot clown. Oh, Battler. But that's the other thing. I want to say this because I'm dogging on Battler a lot, but I want to make it clear. I think Battler is smarter than we give him credit. I think that he let's put this in shonen terms. Let's put this in Naruto terms, or Dragon Ball Z terms. I think Battler has limiters on. I think Battler is being weighted down by something very crucial. And I think he's being weighted down. And I mentioned this a long time ago, but I'm going to throw it out there again. I'm going to say it in blue, actually. I'm just going to lock this down. I'm going to say it in blue. I think Battler is acting stupid because of a mindset, of a worldview that is preventing him from seeing his family members as murderers or perpetrators of evil. I think that he is acting naively because of this worldview. And I think that that worldview is in place to prevent him from being re-traumatized by his mom's death. I think that they had something to fucking do with it, and he fucking knows that. I think he knows that. I think he's onto them. I think he was onto them, and I think it was fucking with them so much that he had to leave, that he had to get the fuck out, that he had to go stay with his grandparents until they fucking ate shit. And by ate shit, I mean died of, died of natural causes. Jan, yes, I will say what saying it in blue means for the VOD. For anybody who's curious, much like when Beatrice says something in red, when I say something in blue, I'm saying it in terms of like, I am locking down a theory. Beatrice uses red to certify something as a fact. I'm using blue to certify something as a locked-in theory. We're locking in on a theory. So yeah, that's entirely me. I made that up. You're welcome, or sorry. I don't know, maybe both. All this means is that you can finally challenge me without a handicap, right? But that alone doesn't change the fact that demanding that you repeat things is one of Battler's ways to fight back. It's like the only knives that Battler gets is the ones that you pull out to try and stab him with. As I already said, as long as it's something fatal that'll destroy the witch theory, the witch is obligated to argue back and therefore to speak with the red truth. While the timing of that counter-argument is up to the witch, it must be performed eventually. Isn't that right? That may be so. If I cannot deny the tricks done by humans theory Battler lays out by the time the game ends, Battler will use that as a reason to deny me, and it will be possible for him to proclaim his victory. I also want to note that, like, you can deny something even without logic. So really, this whole game is kind of a farce. Like, Battler can have all of the evidence laid out in front of him for all of the proof that he needs to admit that Beatrice could be a witch. But all he needs to do is go like, nuh-uh. All he needs to do is stick his fingers in his ears and say, nope, I still don't believe you. I don't care how much evidence you give me, I don't believe. Like, that's literally why we're here in the first place. Because he denied it so hard, and then Beatrice showed up and was like, hey, I'm right in front of you, idiot. And he's like, whoa. So, fake news. Fake news. It's fake news. Only possible. Y'all see? Actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I should not commit to the VOD that I just watched a video of the President of the United States shitting in his pants in his diaper. Anyway. So should we view this as a restriction on the witch's side? I'm just blowing right past that. The trick theory laid out by the human side, in other words, what he tells you to repeat must be countered during the game, during the episode. What? What? During the episode. Is that a commentator? What is this? What is this? Is this an editor note? What is this? What is this? What is that? Should I read into that? That is so. Battler's goal is to show that he can explain the entire pleasant game I have laid out on this island with humans and deny me. If Battler succeeds in that, at that time, he will become the victor of this game. Let me confirm the rules. Should we view the time the game ends as referring to 24 o'clock on October 5th, 1986, going by the time of the Rokunjima in the game? I have no problems with that. At the time the game ends, the human side must state a theory using tricks for all of the mysteries. And if the witch side cannot argue back, the human side can proclaim its victory. Okay, so locking it down and saying, hey, these are the rules, like actually laying out the rules. I think I get why people like NJ, is because she's actually pushing shit forward. She's actually getting shit done. Does that work? Let us be more specific. When the game ends, the witch side will be given a chance to argue back. Let's decide on an amount of time. 1 minute. If you cannot carry out your counter argument within 1 minute, victory will be proclaimed. Then allow me to impose the same rule on you. At the time the game ends, the human side will be granted 1 minute to counter the mysteries it has been given. If even a single mystery has not been countered within that time, it becomes the witch's victory and that game is over. It would be such a killjoy to have the game stopped for lengthy consideration. Right? You asshole. Hey! That's our queen. You don't disparage her like that. It's rude as shit. During the episode Alliance of the Golden Witch, yeah, exactly. during the episode Umineko Nonaku Koroni, 7th mod, which is based on the Witch Hunt translation. Witch Hunt? That's interesting. I didn't know that. And Black Femme, I like her because her cute bow. I mean, yeah. Well, hey. I need someone to edit the cute bow on Battler now. Make him cute. Okay, yeah, I like this. I like where we're going. I like that we've got very defined... See, this is what I was kind of reacting to earlier, is like, if you don't have win conditions or lose conditions, you can just like put your fingers in your ears and just be like, la la la. That's not exactly like countered by this new rule set, but it's advancing it. It's getting to somewhere where we can eventually, like, the fact that the witch can just say whatever the fuck and say magic did it. It's like, what? Like the last game where it's just, whatever. I keep getting cut off, going off on tangents, but you know what I mean. It's like she could just say whatever and say magic. Like Avatris said it, where it was like, oh yeah, I made like Kyrie go into the mansion, even though she said there was no reason to go there. I made her do that with magic. It's like you could say that with literally anything, and at a certain point, it's like, I can't argue with you because it's fucking ridiculous. Like, and even beyond a devil's proof, it's like a dumbass proof. It's like, what? Like, I can't, huh? Like, oh yeah, there were invisible unicorns in the mansion, and you couldn't see them because magic. It's like, what? I can't prove a negative. I can't prove that they're. Anyway, you asshole. Moving things along without me. But I more or less get what's going on. That's good. That's good, Battler. Good job. Good job. Even if the lines I demand that you repeat aren't countered instantly, they've got to be countered eventually. Yes, that's right. And that must happen before 1... I guess that would be 1 past midnight on October 6th. But be careful. She only has to cut up one of the things you tell her to repeat. You can't proclaim your victory unless you solve all the puzzles. Just as I can use the red, from now on, I will allow you to use the... What the fuck? What? No. What? Just as I can use the red from now on, I will allow you to use the blue, Battler? When explaining my magical murders with human tricks, you may state your claims. That's literally... Are you fucking... Am I Am I literally Battler? Should I just start wearing a suit and dye my hair red? Are you fucking kidding me? Oh my god. And I was just saying how fucking stupid this idiot was. Oh no. No. I'm not beating the accusations. No. Oh my god. How long were you fuckers laughing at me? How long? Fuck. Shit. No. No, I'm literally him. No. Oh. Fuck. None of you warned me. None of you warned me. I knew. Literally. Fuck. And Jan, I see you fucking getting me to fucking like explain what the blue was before. Oh, Jesus fucking Christ, dude. Oh no. You ever play a game that's just like exactly on your wavelength? It like matches it perfectly so that you're saying the same shit that it's saying at certain points, or sometimes predicting shit that it exactly does. Fuck me. All right. Fuck. Shit. I am responsible for countering your blue with the red by the end of the game. Blue. So I'll talk in blue when I tell you to repeat things. No, idiot. I'm not him. I'm not him. I'm not him. My hair starts to turn red and get spiky. I'm not him. My clothes turn like my undershirt turns red. I get a black tie. I'm not him. My fucking coat turns like tan. No. I swear to God, one of these streams, I'm just gonna straight up show up in like a fucking suit with like a red wig. Not quite. When you told me to repeat lines, you were able to do it for any trivial thing. But the blue is a little more restrictive. Unless it by itself denies witches, it will not be valid. It's starting to get confusing, but it's more or less something like this. For example, let's take one of the riddles in the past where I asked her to repeat something. The actual number of master keys is 5. That had been to confirm that there really were 5 master keys when she claimed there were no more than 5. But since that by itself wouldn't deny witches, I can't say it in blue. So in order to speak in blue, I'd need to say something like this. The actual number of master keys was greater than 5. The culprit entered or exited the room with that extra key. Only then would the witch, who claimed that this was a closed room murder made with magic, be responsible for making a counter-argument. In other words, I can't demand that she repeat something that merely confirms the premises of my reasoning. That'll probably be a significant disadvantage for me. Crap. It's enough to make the red Beato used to toy with me until now look extremely merciful. It's just counter-argument, Balor. It's not fucking like rocket science. Damn it. So even if I create a theory for a particular closed room and speak it in blue, if Beato denies it at the very, very end, I won't even have time to create my next theory. This rule's awful, horribly bad for me. Are you going to surrender before the fight begins again? Calm down. No one said you could only use the blue once for each mystery. Do you know what that means? No. How old is Battler again? He's like itty bitty baby, right? He's like 18 or smaller. 18? Okay. What does it mean? And NJ is like 18, right? In the pitiful way you've been fighting up until now, you've made a single theory, glanced at the witch's complexion, and if that one didn't work, then you'd start making another theory. You won't corner a witch like that. Then how should I fight? with theories and evidence and shit. Like, fucking think. My brother, oh my god, holy shit, get a fucking clue. Like, literally get a clue. Like, find one. You don't mean. Yeah, that's right. You don't attack her riddles with a point. You assault them with a wall. You said so yourself in an earlier game that the force of your reasoning should be like that. Assault with a wall. That's right. I said so myself earlier. Guessing and trying to expose the mystery is like trying to shoot a distant target with an arrow. Until now, I have just been shooting off arrow after arrow, asking the witch if I scored a hit, and then preparing my bow again once I'm told that I've missed. I wonder if this was translated in a certain way. This could be likened to a game of submarine, or what was it called? Is it called submarine? No, battleship. Submarine. Yeah, battleship. It's basically that. It's like you hit and then like, did I hit? And then like, anyway. There's no way I'll hit at that rate. Bullets might be a better example than arrows. If you take one shot after another at a distant target with a handgun, you probably won't hit it easily. So you know how you can hit it? If a handgun doesn't work, use a shotgun. Instead of a single bullet, beat her down with shot comprised of countless projectiles at once. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Shot scatters, so it impacts a wide area. That makes it optimal for shooting small, fast targets like birds. That's right. There's no rule that says I have to guess that like a pistol, shooting one shot off at a time. Should I look into the fact that they just said shooting a bird? Like a bird in a cage? Despite all my rage? Despite all her rage, Beatrice is still just a bird in a cage? We'll talk about that later. Making a single theory and just hoping that it hits is no better than stopping your own thinking. Blast away with a massive number of bullets of guesses and make them impact like a wall that only one of them hitting the target is enough. But you can't think just like this, because you have to back up your theories with thought. You can't just shoot a bullet and have a bunch of bullets, because all she needs to do is at the very end take one of them, because one of them is bound to be wrong, and focus in on that. But if you attack in a targeted manner, if you attack with theories that you have thinking behind, that you back that theory up with another theory, it's not just bullets anymore. It's like, I would think that the arrow, like an arrow behind an arrow, or like, I don't even know what maybe I'm straining metaphors, but like, you know what I'm saying? It's got to have like thinking behind it. It's got to have reasoning behind it. It can't just be a one-off fuck off. I didn't really think this one through, because she's just going to attack that shit. Right, Broken Bee, if she doesn't block them, they're truth. But if she does, all she needs to do is block one that we didn't consider thoroughly. And that's what I'm saying to Battler. And I think this is going to come up later. Is like, yes, shooting off a bunch of theories and guesses is totally valid, but you can't just fire them off willy-nilly. You have to think of the reasoning and logic behind every single one. So that way you can, like, you can't just randomly blast. You can't just fucking hip fire all this shit, you know? You gotta aim. Anyway, I don't know if that makes any fucking sense.
Oh.
Blue, huh?
なるほどな。
Naruhodo na. I get it.
お前の赤き真実か。
If your red truth is a razor-sharp katana, then it looks like my blue is a shotgun.
いや。
No, a machine gun whose firepower will turn the witch into a honeycomb. Okay, dude. I see, so it's an awkward gun that fires many shots. That sort of crude analogy is just like you. The climax of a detective novel is always the same. The famous detective gathers all the suspects at once and displays a single trail of logic that works splendidly. Almost like William Tell spectacularly shooting through an apple with a single arrow. That's why I mistakenly took that to be a virtue. It probably would be splendid if I could shoot through the truth with a single guess. But that isn't realistic. Look at real wars. Do they really have everyone pull long guns out of the trench, aim really well, and take shots at each other one at a time? They don't, right? They fire rapidly. They fire all over the place. They pin down the enemy with a barrage. Reasoning is the same way. Because of that weird virtue, I've been stuck thinking it's better to take one line of reasoning at a time. I mean, that's true. You shouldn't have been taking one line of reasoning. But the whole point is to have reasoning behind it. You need to fully consider what you're saying and why you're saying it, rather than just hip firing and shit. Spray and praying is the phrase that I was desperately trying to remember, but I couldn't. But yeah, spray and pray. We humans can fire off countless guesses and possibilities. The bullet is the power of imagination. Suspension of thought is a clogged barrel. The pathetic way I've been reasoning up until now is like a pea shooter. I've been so lame, weekly firing off shots, getting them denied and read, and then taking the next bullet and reloading. My blue truth, which claims that humans and tricks are what's real, will overpower its target, the illusion told by the witch, with its firepower and the force of what I can imagine. This is my Ushiromiya Battler's fighting style. Okay. It's shoot style, boy. Thanks to you, I figured out my true fighting style. Okay. Thanks, Gretel. You're welcome, Battler. You're welcome. Makes me think of how pathetic I was before. Yeah, it's like Beato said. I've had a handicap up until now. I'll acknowledge that. New rule, understood. I have my own way of fighting. I'll show you it. That willpower is good, I like it. Then try using it right away. This blue truth of yours. No, don't fall for it. Yeah, I'll use it. Bruh. With this blue truth, I'll break apart your witch theory, which states that only a witch culprit was possible because everyone had alibis. This is my truth. Ushiromiya Kinzo is already dead. Therefore, the true number of people on the island is 17. Okay, so before I call him dumb, which I have done many times, let me understand the rule in terms of, because what NJ was saying is that Beato doesn't have to respond to this until the end of the game. Like, she doesn't have to respond until, like, what, midnight? And then, like, a minute past midnight? So, like... Cube, can I call you bro? You remind me of my bro. Don't read into it. Correct, he's just getting it in now? Okay. And that's why I think it's a bad fucking move, because you wanna spring this stuff on, like, because it's a speed round at the end of it. At the end of the night, you need to, like, the shotgun metaphor makes the most sense if you liken it to, at the very end, you spray and pray. You fucking assault her with so much blue that she really has no recourse. But he's doing it now, which is like, whatever. By adding an unknown person X to that, it becomes 18 people. By supposing that this person X exists, the crimes will be possible even if all 17 people have alibis. Sorry, I dropped my glass. What did you say? In short, if you keep preventing us from meeting with Father, we will have to accept the following theory. Simply put, Father is already dead. But you're hiding that because you don't want the inheritance to be distributed. Ridiculous. Baka-bakashi. That is correct. This is worse than ridiculous. I've never heard such an insult. It'd even be possible for us to check by force whether he's alive or dead, with the police there to witness it. Isn't that right, Eva-ne-san? Yes. Tetrion, neat detail for Kyrie and Battler to assert the same theory, right? I mean, yeah. Yeah. See, that's making me rethink everything that Ava was, or, sorry, Ava's on screen, so my brain's in Ava land. That Kyrie was saying about being jealous of Battler's mom. Like, I kind of don't want to read into that because it was such like a heat of the moment type thing and she was fighting for her life. But at the same time, like she said that shit. It was included. It makes me think there was a reason for it. Makes me kind of want to look into it. How old was Battler when his mom died? Because I'm trying to figure out like 12, so he was already like, I wonder how much like experience he has with Kyrie, what Battler and Kyrie. Like they seem to have that kind of, I don't want to say motherly, but definitely like older sister kind of vibe. Like she really rubbed off on him. Anyway, yes, that's right, Nissan. There are all sorts of ways we could set you up. We could easily arrange for a situation where you'd have to hold a meeting with father under the supervision of a third party. Still, I think that would bring a lot of shame to the Yoshiramiya family. That's why I'm making this proposal. Here we have the responsibilities and duties of the caretaker, and a penalty in the worst case scenario. If you consent to those terms, we'll be able to refrain from doing something like dragging father outside. Yeah, that's right, Aniki. Didn't you just say it yourself? You're carrying out your natural duties as Dad's caretaker. That's the same way Battler described it in F1? Oh. Kyrie's conditions shouldn't be anything to worry you about, right? Why this overreaction? Are you really that worried about having the position of successor dragged out from under you if Dad dies something other than a natural death? Or else what? Do you have some reason to think father might die something other than a natural death? There's the Ava we know and love. I know some people have a thing about vocal fry. Ava's vocal fry is like perfect. How could I? I see. Now I too understand how father feels. How pitiful his later years have been for him, unable even to die as he pleases. Yes, his later years truly have been pitiful. And the thought that these later years are already something of the past is exactly what we're suspecting. You could completely clear this suspicion away by just letting us meet with father. So even after being humiliated by us this much, you still won't allow us to meet with him, Krasny-san? Father is probably already dead. The corpse may have been disposed of in absolute secrecy. And after taking all of the wealth for yourself as father's agent, you will make it seem that he disappeared until 7 years pass, making father a corpseless member of the deceased. I'm sorry, but please don't take it badly, okay? I'm just playing detective here. How rude can one be? She hit me. You have no right to say this in this mansion, to stay in this mansion. Leave immediately. I won't permit you to cross the threshold of this house again. It worked last year, but you've used up your luck if you thought it'd work this year too. Father is in a bad mood, so he can't meet with us. That was plenty suspicious last year, and yet you're doing it again. If you really wanted to fake being father's agent and grab up all his assets, you should have done it a little more speedily, making him disappear without waiting for today's family conference. You really are naive, Kraus Oni-sama. I have no idea what you were... However, if it's a fact that father's in a bad mood, and maybe preventing us from meeting with him as part of your responsibilities as his caretaker, then it's a very wonderful thing you're doing. In that case, if you just accept our conditions, everything will be settled here and now. After all, you care so greatly for Father Kraus-ni-san. There's no way Father will die in a manner that leads to trouble during the autopsy. See, it's this that makes me think that what Kyrie is doing here is such a it's such a good move because it's forcing Kraus. Just I guess it's different than using just the blue a Battler's Blue with Beatrice. Because he has to respond basically immediately. Otherwise he's incredibly fucking suspicious. Because it does make sense. The way that Kyrie is presenting this, it's just okay, either you're extremely suspicious or here's an incredibly easy out. All you gotta do is agree to these terms that you are already agreeing to and that we all assume are going to be carried out. It's incredibly easy. It's like a default position that we all assume that you are going to be taking naturally. But if something has happened to Kinzo, that is the only reason you wouldn't take it. And the main thing, and he's getting hung up on that, and it's he has to respond now. It's different than with Battler's assertions, because he basically has to be look, all right, you can see him. Let's just go into his study. He's going to be pissed. He's going to be fucking mad. He's going to be weird, but at least you'll see. So we'll see. Haha, he cross sucks. After all, Father hates hospitals, so he'll pass away in his study, right? An autopsy will certainly be carried out no matter what happens. The only way to kill him without an autopsy would be for him to disappear. Enough, Kyrie-san. I think you've bullied Nissan enough. Ava saying that? Bro. No. Ava rebuked Kyrie in a sickeningly kind voice. Considering the situation, that was impossible. Which is why it was sickening. I'm sure Nissan has his own difficulties to worry about, as well as his pride. True, Nissan might consider that one of his natural duties, but if you force him to put it on paper and assign penalties, I could hardly blame him for getting upset. Don't you agree, Rosa? Yeah, that's right. She might have made light of Kraus-Nissan's pride as the eldest son a little too much. I'd feel bad for him if we were to force him to sign a statement regarding the duties of the caretaker, as Kyrie-san has laid out. That's right, so done it. You're doing a good job, Aniki. Taking that into account, we might consider avoiding all that about signing strange papers and worst-case penalties, and leave everything to you. You people. Not just Ava, but Rudolph and Rosa as well, with unnerving smiles on their faces, as though they'd planned this beforehand, began closing in on Kraus. They now understood perfectly how Kyrie had cornered Kraus and exactly where she was prepared to compromise. We were talking about a signed statement regarding the responsibilities of the caretaker. But even without signing such a thing, you can make it so that we'll never demand a meeting with Father again. I wouldn't wish the Ushiromiyas on anyone's family. I thought mine was bad. Hey, we don't really care that you may have killed our father and maybe done who knows what with his corpse, and are pretending that he's still alive to suit whatever whims you may have. But if you try and take our fucking money, suddenly we care about where Grandpa is. Where did he go? I demand to meet him right now, but no, like, this is crazy. Anyway, they all needed a lot of money right now. It's true. We all need money. I need money. Krausenep, Cosmic Crown. Krausenep 3. I think I was a horrible brother, and I feel bad about that. Krausenep 4. Actually, they deserved it. Yeah, 1000%. Like, there's an aspect of this that they're not taking into account, which is, is it possible that Kinzo died under suspicious circumstances, but it was an accident? And maybe something about the money or the way that the contracts worked, like, fucked them over in a way where they basically have to pretend like he's still alive. Like, there are some things in here where this method of attack is useful, but there are some ways where it might be problematic if you don't account for every, like, possibility. Anyway, if you can prove your fitness as father's caretaker with a form of guarantee other than a signed statement, that is. Are you telling me to pay security money, brother? Hilarious. The security money will be paid to Eva-san, Rudolph-san, and Rosa-san, 3 billion yen each. As a deposit, you will transfer 10% of that, 300 million yen, before the year is out. 9 billion? I don't have that kind of money. After father passes away, you should be able to work it out. We've managed to investigate at least that far. You should be able to handle the deposit of 900 million yen in your current financial situation. And it should even be possible for you to borrow it from father, right? There's no need for obvious charades anymore. Oh, unpleasant. Truly unpleasant. It is as that. It is at that. Even just the discussion of father's inheritance was far too disrespectful. Father is already dead? My husband is hiding that and keeping all the money for himself? I have had enough of this. None of you are qualified to bear the name Ushiromiya any longer. Calm down, Natsuhine-san. Natsui-san. We've all said all we need to. Why don't we leave it at that for now? This is happening all of a sudden on a massive scale. We might even be getting agitated ourselves. Why don't we take a break for a while and cool our heads? Kraus-Nissan probably needs a little time himself. Right, Kraus-Nissan. Time? And why would I need something like that? Don't worry. We aren't thinking of anything shady. We're just so eager to see father that we've started grumbling a bit. And Kraus-Nissan, I know real well how you're dying to get back at us for those things we've said. If you're willing to go so far, then you just need to let us meet with him. Right? Isn't that right? You just got a bit stubborn, and it felt awkward to say you'd let us see him after saying we couldn't all those times. Isn't that it? Right? It certainly does seem that my husband has lost his composure slightly, just like the rest of you have. We were only refusing stubbornly out of respect for father's desire not to meet with anyone. Indeed, that's right. It was turning into another sibling fight like the old days, and I started feeling stubborn as well. Let us cool our heads. I understand how much you all want to meet with Father. I will pass that on to him. I'll find some way to convince Father to meet with you. Will that do? Yeah. I think it'd be okay to give Kraus Nissan some time to persuade Father. Yep. We're counting on you, Aniki. Please persuade him to meet with us. After all, you're Dad's caretaker. Okay, Rudolph, calm down. And as for persuading him, let's set a limit on it sometime tonight, okay? When tomorrow comes, we'll confirm Father's well-being, even if we have to break down the door to his study. You have no problems with that, I take it? Well, that time they went in there, he was like hiding, right? Doesn't he have a place to hide in his study? Or wait, no, I got that confused. He can camp out in his study because it has all the shit that he needs to, like, it's kind of like a what is it called? It's kind of like a panic room or something. I don't know if he has like a hidden room or something in there. Hello, Lambda Delta. Do as you like. I see it seems even the time I've been given to persuade him is short. Let us go, Natsuhi. We shall ask him to join us for dinner at least. Right. Kraus left the parlor with Natsuhi. Once their footsteps disappeared, Hideyoshi took a deep breath, smirking and flopping onto the sofa. Kirie-san, you're a frightening person. Sorry for speaking out of turn. I apologize. No, you didn't corner him like that. You didn't corner him like we'd originally planned, but in the end, this was even better. Just like always, I've got to bow my head to you. See, I really hope they're not setting her up for like being... Oh, man. I like her. I really like Kyrie. I hope that she isn't like even more evil than Ava. But I guess I still like her, but still. Is she a villain? Well, after we saw her sister, now I'm thinking like, oomph. I was thinking that she doesn't like her sister for some reason, and maybe like it's because of like how manipulative she is. But now I'm thinking like, well, maybe the apple didn't fall very far from the tree. Why? Cube, you said worst case she'll be a top tier EV space IL space woman. Automod prevented you from saying, and I quote, IL space woman. What? I just approved it. Why did it that was really weird. Anyway, like Automod, chill. Anyway. Like, my God, so many evil women. They're all so many to choose from. Pick your faves. Post in the chat what your favorite evil woman, who your favorite evil woman is. No, you didn't corner him like we originally planned. I've got to bow my head to you. But can he really prepare 900 million? I believe we estimated that 750 million would be the most Kraus Nissan could afford with his current financial situation. Poor guy, I like that response. Isn't 900 million gouging him too much? If he can't do it, that's fine too. If we do something like lowering it to 750 million so Kraus Nissan can save face, it'll look like we're compromising and it'll be easier to settle, right? Thank you. Some people don't understand this about bartering. They don't understand this about negotiations. You come in high. Always come in high. Then you find, meet in the middle. But if you come in high, the middle will be higher. And if he really does come out with the 900 million, that's even better. Nissan is probably having a strategy meeting with Natsuhi-san about now. It really will be interesting to see what kind of twisted logic our proud Nissan comes up with as an excuse. He's gonna produce Kinzo. He's gonna produce Kinzo. It's just a matter of whether it's really Kinzo or someone play acting to be Kinzo. Convince father? There's no way he can. There's no way to convince someone who isn't even there. Is that where we end the episode? Or the chapter? No, okay. I was like, that would be a perfect end. To have the fucking witch laugh. The siblings have all come, despite their various circumstances, for this annual family conference. Kraus and Natsuhi could be seen in Kinzo's dimly lit study. Every once in a while, thunder could be heard, and the dimly lit room flickered with light. It seemed that the island would be closed off by the storm very soon. Father, please, just this once, show these disrespectful people the majesty of the head. Is he gonna say it? It's useless. Zen zen dameda. The large shadow of a person standing by the window, his majestic back facing them, answered quietly and forcefully. He hung his head and shook. Eventually, they could hear a mumbling laugh over his shoulder. Zen zen dameda. It's useless. It's all useless. Wow, really is a chip off the old block. 3 months left to live? An almost finished geezer? To whom exactly are you referring? Oh boy. You fools! Alright. Let's go ahead and give that a save. 9/11, 9/13. Okay. Let's go ahead and do these. What a face to end on. Why does he look like that? His eyes are Huh. Does he look kind of different? I guess not really. I'm also thinking, like, who could look like Kinzo? Like, who could be dressed up to look like Kinzo? It's actually kind of similar, but skin tone. Then again, maybe no. I was thinking maybe Kraus could look like Kinzo. Not really. I mean, if I were a betting man, I would say that that's really him. And Battler and Kyrie are barking down the wrong tree. But at the same time, it is a helpful tree to bark down. Like, this is what I was saying about, like, backing up your theories with logic, because you have to approach it from not just whether you're right, but also if you're wrong. Like, the idea of shooting the shotgun should also include backup bullets from behind the shot that was shot, so that you're basically like, okay, you deny this one, well, here's another one. Because if that was wrong, I know what to attack you with. It's like the whole point of spinning the chessboard. The whole point is to view things from the opponent's perspective, and if they do this, then your response is this. You think a certain set of moves ahead, and Battler has not been doing that. He just thinks that throwing out ideas is the best option, which, don't get me wrong, is useful in some ways, but if you're not backing those up and you get called out on them, you just look like a fucking idiot. Anyway, all right, is that the end of the... Oh, he hit me in the face. Did you wander over here because your siblings threatened you? Know your shame! As Kinzo turned and brushed his cape, it flashed forcefully through the room's stale air. That air pressure truly signified Urushiromiya Kinzo's majesty and willpower itself. After being blown back by its wind, it wasn't strange that Kraus landed on his butt. As though showing consideration for Kraus, who looked as though his legs had been swept out from under him, Natsuhi also crouched down. Then, with a thunk, Kinzo's footsteps approached with a heft that signified his dignity. Father. You fool! He's high as shit, dude. He's fucking wasted. I heard from Canon. Just how far did you pathetically let your siblings lead you around by the nose? Father, my husband is doing his best to protect your honor. Great fucking job. Without lending any ear to Natsuhi's words, Kinzo extended his palm to Kraus's collar as the latter sat on the floor. So he curled his fingers, leaving only his pointer finger out, then took his finger and pressed it up against Kraus's collar, twisted it, and slowly, with just one finger, picked Kraus up into the air. You really are a pathetic fool. You let your wife speak in your defense? If you have an excuse, give it yourself. Kraus clawed at the air. Kinzo's brawny finger was choking him. He couldn't even open his mouth, much less talk. However, even if he had been able to open his mouth, as he was now, there was no way he'd be able to think up an excuse that Kinzo would accept. Still, how could this power be described? No one would call Kinzo an old man after seeing this superhuman strength. Father, my husband is fighting in his own way. Please forgive him. Natsuhi. Fighting is a process you go through before winning. The process you go through before losing isn't called fighting. I love Crazy Kinzo.png. It's very good. It's like, that's called being pathetic. Didn't you know? Second place is only the first loser. You call this my successor? As thunder roared, Kinzo laughed heartily, as though nothing could be more pleasant. And when he finished laughing, he threw his son away like he was scrap paper, slamming him against the wall. He gets the air knocked out of him, like, or what? That one lady crushing the grapes. What was she like? She was like, L. Check for Crazy Kinzo character page. Oh fuck yeah! Oh fuck yeah! Is there a fucking? Is there one specifically for Kinzo? Oh shit! There he is. Goldsmith. Goldsmith is Kinzo's sorcerer's name. Okay. His skill as a summoner is legendary for the current era. His summoning ability surpasses even Beatrice's at times. However, he is very mismatched, excelling in some areas while fatally lacking as a sorcerer in others. Magic with enough power to reheat a cup of black tea may be beyond him, but he's capable of summoning demons with magic strong enough to boil the sea. The source of his magic is found in arithmetic miracles, and his magical compendium is unique. Later on, even Beatrice took note of this and rearranged her own compendium accordingly. Okay, so we found out about sorcerers, I guess. I feel like we mentioned that before. Where's Crazy Kinzo? Is it just Goldsmith? Bro, what? Bro, what? Man, the through line here is interesting because Lambda Delta basically gave Beatrice power, But Goldsmith, Kinzo, summoned Beatrice. How did you summon Beatrice, the Endless Witch? Also, am I high, or are we missing a lot of Virgilia this round? Ugh, anyway, we'll keep going. Dear, are you okay? Kraus slid down the wall, rubbing his throat as though in pain. Natsuya ran up to him and looked after him. Aww. But without showing any interest in the two of them, Kinzo returned to the space near the window, as though he had been there the whole time, and looked up at the thunderclouds of misfortune. As though he had been there the whole time? I thought I would have no regrets in my life, if only I could meet Beatrice. But it seems it won't go so smoothly. It was promised from the beginning that nothing received from the witch would remain. However, the Yoshiramiya name is not the property of the witch. Who is fit to succeed that name? It seems that this alone must be resolved by my own hand. This is what we were talking about before in the previous episode. Because there was that theory that Ava didn't actually figure out the riddle on her own. That the riddle was bullshit. And only Kinzo knew the solution, which didn't make any sense. But by knowing the solution, he was able to give it to the person that he wanted to succeed the family name. In NJ's timeline, that person was Ava. Yeah, Okanogi's theory, exactly. So now this is him basically saying, like, okay, I gotta do everything my own damn self. Rejoice, Kraus. I have changed my mind. Father, so... I have no desire to have dinner with you cowards. However, I will attend the family conference afterwards. Father, thank you very much. There, I shall make a great announcement regarding the succession of the head. I will resolve your foolish quarrel myself. Can't help but notice he's not coughing anymore. All right, here we go. We're really getting somewhere now. Now we're cooking with gas. Goldsmith. What the fuck? Bruh. Okay. Huh. Okay. All right. And with that, yeah, I think we're just gonna call it. We'll give that another save there. Yeah, interesting. Very, very interesting. That had a lot going on in it. That was a lot. A lot to chew on there. Goldsmith. The fuck? Interesting. All right, yeah. I guess that's it for the stream tonight. We're gonna go ahead and call it there. Just FYI, !Discord in the chat. We'll get you a link to the Discord where we are going to play the next chapter. Or chapters. And then we're going to reconvene after that to go on Twitch again. I believe we have one more Twitch stream, which should be next Monday. And then I think we're meeting again on Discord to play more. And then next Wednesday, I believe, will be our next book club. So if you want to join, if you want to, hang out with all of the witches and some of us non-witches, some of us mere humans, yeah, go ahead and join in. You can declare yourself a sea cat, and yeah, wow, that was a lot. That was wow, we're really getting somewhere now. I'm stoked. Goldsmith, what the fuck? And now Kinzo's in the fucking... What the hell? See, part of me wants to really lean on, like, what metaphors mean what, but at the same time, it's like, I'm kind of at a point where I just kind of want to let the game do its own thing and not really, like, try to solve it at this point. I have my ideas, and some of those ideas have fallen away, but some of them are getting a little bit more, like, backing to them, but at this point, I'm just like... This could go in a bunch of different ways. There are a bunch of different ways that I can think of. How could he? Because if magic doesn't exist, if we deny magic, how the hell is Kinzo throwing Kraus around? How is he picking him up so easily? If he's not deploying something, like some kind of summon, some kind of like... He could just be lifting, bro. The magic of them weights. The magic of the gym. I mean, who do we know of who is physically like with it, you know, who physically is like G2G. Like Nanja didn't seem like that. The only person I can really think of is Genji. But do you think Genji could play Kinzo? Hey, then again, he might just he might have that what if he was just really fucking high? Like what if he like fucking snorted some fucking coke and then like fucking raged, you know? Like just picked him up and threw him against the wall. Oh god. But that line, that fucking line, dude, that line where he said like where it said that he was sitting near the window looking up at a corner of space like he had been sitting there the whole time. What? That makes me think he was sitting there the whole fucking time. Anyway. I just noticed Hideyoshi and Kinzo are kind of wearing the same, or wearing red undershirts. Oh wait, Valor is too. Oh, interesting. Interesting. There's another aspect of this that we haven't really considered. Is let me throw this out there, and we'll end the stream with this. In the same way that Ava had young Ava in her and conversed with her, is there a possibility that Kraus has maybe an older version of himself that he sees of as though he were like Kinzo in his psyche? Is the tea that they're drinking so fucking strong it's splintering their personalities? He got that dog in him. It's true. They all do, apparently. And that dog is a sorcerer. Anyway, we'll end on that. Thank you so much for joining. Thanks for, I hope you all had fun. I had fun. So yeah, we're almost halfway through this, and shit's getting interesting. So yeah, characters are defying expectations. Some of them are showing their true colors, or at least their manipulative tendencies. At the very least, I think what Kyrie did was useful to like sort of bring out the next step, which is the same thing that you could say about battlers, like saying something in blue. So in that way, it's useful. Anyways, all right. Catch y'all later. Catch you on the next one. Bye.